Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to ELF Live on Friday, sponsored by Euronics, of course. It's going to be a big, long show, and with me, I have Jarvis, McClam. We got a lot to cover, though, Jarvis. But how are you doing, first and
I
foremost?
am doing great. I am doing great on this Friday. I'm here. We're up. We're ready to talk football. Let's do it. Let's go right now.
So, first of all, thank you to the chat, of course, which is here. Secondly, it's 1-0 Matt Bressington at the moment in the Jarvis McClam versus Matt Bressington bowl game of Hamburg versus. That's 1-1 actually, because I guess Hamburg to the first one. I'm feeling good, but we got some game weeks previews, of course. We got Silent Center first and foremost. We may as well jump straight into that because as you can see by the bottom ticker, we got a lot of stuff to cover. Make sure you stay around for all of it. Let's get into the signing center. First and foremost, the Storm placing defensive back Xavier Edwards on the injury reserve. Big shame as well because he was playing well, he was active. He looked a little bit knocked up in some of the games, but played all the way through it. He's super aggressive. We've seen this guy in the league for years. He's a former champ and an all-star. How do you think it's going to affect them getting into those playoff spots now at the moment? So how do you think it's going to affect them?
I really think it's not going to affect them at all. Obviously, he's a key piece of the defense, a championship guy, but I feel like they have the depth to keep the team rolling, keep the defense going, so they will be all right.
Yeah, they should be fine. I mean, he is a veteran leader as well. I think with that experience you have in the league, he's definitely a guy that you like, just a locker room presence.
Yeah.
Injury reserve, sadly, not the end of our list, though, because we also have the Ravens placing Mr. Marvin Rush on the IR as well. Great German receiver, probably one of the best German receivers, and a lot of people having that top 5 conversation for the German receivers. I'm probably in that conversation. Another former All-Star. Another player. This is a Munich Ravens team that's pushing towards playoffs. They lose a great German receiver for their young quarterback. Same question. How do you think this is going to affect them going forward? It's a bit of a different situation than X.
Yeah, it actually is different, but I feel like this might affect him just a little bit because he is that key piece of the offense. You know, he's a little slow this year, but still, he is the driving force. He keeps the guys together, and it might hurt him a little bit, but I feel like he will be there on the game day on the sideline, maybe, and hopefully they'll get the game going.
Yeah, it's been a weird season for receivers, I find. Like some guys just aren't performing as much as we expected to, and some guys are performing way above the level that we expected to. Another player we've seen maybe wanting a bit more numbers out of has been Terry Wright, who's also going on IR. But this was more so of like he was obviously very talented, but the Galaxy just aren't necessarily using him as much as I think they should be doing because he's a great receiver, very fast, very dangerous, quick as well. Haven't seen the most of him in this one, but they've just brought in, as you can see by the bottom, they've signed Mr. Easton at receiver to replace him. This is a guy, Jarvis, I'm quite excited to see how he returns because he is a very, very good player. He's very similar to Terry in his way that he moves. Very explosive off of his release. Very good hands, very good ball tracking. Looks to be an elite receiver as well, and he's had some time around in practice squads too. So Galaxy-wise, though, they've not really been the best on offense in terms of passing attack. They've kind of been a bit spluttery in the last couple of weeks. Do you think this is going to improve it? Do you think it's going to be maybe just kind of staying where they're at? What do you think?
I mean, I feel like it might stay where they're at because they really don't use, like you said, they didn't use Terry like they should. So bringing in another guy, hopefully they get him in the mix. But if not, it's just going to be the same thing. So hopefully they put him in the mix more and give him the ball more and give him more opportunities. So hopefully he's going to get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's luckily though, it's the end of the sad everyone's on IR kind of stuff as well, because we've got another signing and activation from IR. Mr. Brock Dooman from the Enthroners coming back in to that starting quarterback position for the Enthroners. They've been lacking an American at the position. I think it kind of shows, right? Like we need to see the Enthroners step up in the next couple of weeks. And in my opinion, Jarvis, this is a question I'm going to pose to you and to pose a question to the chat as well. Do you think every team needs to have an American? Do you think we're ever going to see a breakthrough of a European?
I don't think every team needs to have an American, but I feel like they need to have a quarterback that has, I'll say, college experience, overseas experience, or played in the U.S., played in Canada, something like that. But I feel like this is a great activation for the Ethroners. He's going to come back in, maybe fix the pieces that they need. So hopefully they'll get the job done this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I never thought I'd say this though, Jarvis. The
Mhm.
Enthroners have also signed a defensive back A,
Yeah.
which if you know the Enthroners is kind of crazy. Jalen Dennis, the American defensive back, plays a lot of safety as well. Alex Malchow's gas in the chat for it. He's a big hitter. He tackles hard. He's played around with the Western Royals and then as well with Prague with the Black Panthers. So he's a bit of a veteran of the game. This is a weird one for me because they kind of need a corner. He is a safety. He can definitely play corner. Very physical, very aggressive. Do the Enthroners, is this a step forward for them? Is this kind of like they're just trying it out? What do you reckon? We're going to see more of Enthroners running with DB Americans?
I think it is a step forward. They're doing something out of the norm that everyone's like, hold up. Are you sure this is the right Anthonius we're talking about? But yeah, I feel like this is a step forward. Hopefully, this is the key that they think they should need for the next seasons and next coming games. So hopefully they'll get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. And then last of the Science Center, the Bravos signed Andy Owusu, a running back from the UK. I'm very excited to see in ELF because I've been a fan of Andy since he was in the IPP. And that's kind of speaks to the level of athlete that he is. This guy is an absolute unit. I know people in Bristol are very happy to see him leave from the London Warriors so they can try and compete for a British championship. This guy's been running through the UK scene for the last couple of years. Extremely physical. I know the comparison to Glenn Tonga is kind of easy because he's a physical British running back, but he is a very good athlete. And it gives kind of Madrid a bit of a tempo change. They're very much a speed dynamic offense. I think this adds a little bit of power to their speed as well. Madrid's offense, 2 running backs go down on IR. They've had Sixten Dragon go on IR and come back. A lot of mix up and change. Do you think that's going to affect them going forward, or do you think they're going to be okay?
I think they're going to be okay because this is going to be, I think, the perfect match. You got Cruikshank, you got Senate. The offense is so fast, and to slow it up a little bit when you have to, I think it's going to be great. A powerful running back just going to dominate the defense every time. So I feel like it's going to be good.
Yeah, it's great. I'm actually really excited to see how he does with Andrew as well. Like, Andy's kind of been the guy in the UK that a lot of people have been like, why is he not in the ELF? Like, surely he should be in the ELF. Now we finally get to see that chance. It feels like a very good opportunity for him with that offensive unit as well. That brings to a close our Science Center. But before we get into our game previews, got a very special message from DKMS, who have been partnered with the ELF. Now, there's a lot of information, of course, on the ELF Instagram, and of course, there was an interview with them during FIBA as well. So if you want more information on the process and the science behind it, I'm underqualified for, then go and listen to the doctors speak about it. It's very, very informational. Definitely, I looked at it before we watched this. Very good. Now, this is a quick fact that every 27 seconds, someone is diagnosed with blood cancer, which is a stem cell donation could be the only chance for them to survive, which makes your impact even more important. This weekend, you can register at DKMS booths in Munich, Berlin, Frankfurt, or Cologne, or you can order in a box as well, and it will come straight to your door. Very easy. Every registration counts, and it's a great opportunity to seriously help someone's life and potentially save their life as well. So please do that. Great, great cause. Jarvis, any thoughts on this one?
You know what? I think I'm actually get signed up. Our producer Maxie said he asked me, Jarvis, are you registered? So I'm gonna get registered on this one right here, man. It's a great cause, so I'm gonna get registered, man.
There we go. Outstanding. Speaking of one of those locations in Hamburg, rather, you'll see that you're residing and going to sign up for on a weekend. That has our first game preview that we're going to head to. And the visitors will be the Madrid Bravos. There's the side-by-side matchups as well. You can see all the comparisons on the ELF Instagram. I love these, Jarvis. Anything that pops out to you? Because I'm looking currently at the points allowed for both of them are kind of just in that lower half. This could be a bit of an explosive scoring game.
It could be. It could be. I'm looking at the passing yards by Madrid, man. Like, they love to pass the ball, you know. So I'm excited to see that. As a receiver, I just love when the quarterback passes the ball. So I'm excited to see that, man.
Speaking of receivers, I mean, their key has to be Aaron Cruikshank, surely, doesn't it? Because he is just phenomenal. He's lighting the league on fire. I think it's not too early to be saying MVP. And I know a lot of people are skeptical about giving a receiver the MVP award because it's the quarterback that's giving the ball. Not opposed to Sinnott being in that conversation too. But I do think Darren Cruikshank might just be the best receiver in the league at the moment and one of the best receivers to ever play in the league. Is that too quick to make that judgment, Jarvis?
Ooh, best receiver to ever play in the league. Ooh, that one you might have to hold off on that one,
It
maybe.
might be.
But
Ceiling-wise.
but the offensive player of the year, maybe, of course. But you said the quarterback gets most of the glory when the receiver is up for it. But sometimes, if you look at Madrid's offense, most of it is screened sometimes, and he's taking it to the crib. So is the quarterback really doing something? But hey, we'll see.
Absolutely. And another one I want to push highlight for them real quick is just doubling Kitchens.
Yep.
Like Prague got the win on the weekend, but they didn't. The Kitchens had an absolutely phenomenal game. 4 sacks and 8 tackles for loss. Let's just see him doubled again. I cannot have another week of him messaging me saying how he's got all these doubles, he's back to normal time, and he's back in the defensive player. He's been on me, Jarvis. I need them to double it. Just my DMs just relax a little bit, But for Hamburg, they're kind of in a bit of a sticky situation, right? They're 2-4. They've just lost to Prague, which is the team they consider themselves maybe getting 2 over this year. Their offense is definitely, for me, the very clear weakness. What do you think?
I mean, just like you said, yeah, I feel like it is the weakness, but I feel like if they find their groove, keep the ball in their hands, they can control this game. They don't want to give the ball back to Aaron Cruikshank and then Reed Sinnott. You don't want to do that because it's going to be quick points. So keep the ball in your hands and control the clock, basically.
Yeah, because Michael Leon has struggled. We mean you were looking at some of the stats before, just of the current Hamburg Sea Devils collection, shall we say, of quarterbacks they've had this year. And it's been underwhelming. Like, you expect more. We had Talia come in, didn't play very well. Mercs Mack had a good game against Prague, but then didn't do very well in some of his latter games. Michael Leon not living up to the MVP shouts that Kyle was perhaps giving him in the preseason. Do you think that Leon is the future with Hamburg? I know this is a team that's close to your heart, but do you see him being the guy for that team, a championship contender?
I mean, I feel like he can get the job done. We're going to see his next couple of games. It's only week 7. It is later in the season, but you still have a couple more games to prove your worth. You know what I'm saying? So if he comes out, he balls, he does what he needs to do, he passes the ball like he should, and I feel like he will do it. So he'll be okay. I feel like he can stay around here.
That being said, who have you got for this game?
I'm going to hurt some Hamburg fans on this one, man. But I have to go with Madrid Bravos, man.
Oh, there you go. The offense is going to be great for the Madrid. I think this one could be a score fest. I think, like you say, that run game of Hamburg plus that pass game of Madrid. But I'm also going to go for the Madrid Bravos. I think this one is going to be a really, really fun game to watch. On to the next one now. The Panthers going to the Enthroners this time. Panthers, another team with a bit of a weird year. If we look at some of the numbers, they've been a very run-happy team, to say the least. DJ Aaron's been very good on the ground. David Brzozowski's also one of the league's best running backs. The Enthroners, not very good at running the ball, but have been a very high intensity. They actually had some moments against Berlin in the last game, but the key to success for the Panthers in this one, I think, is going to be to send a lot of pressure. I think you've got a quarterback that's just coming back from an injury. He is a gunslinger. He likes to throw deep. I think you send some pressure and maybe try and get some off-platform throws. I think you could open up a lot of opportunities for Devin Burrell to make some of those plays. Because, Jarvis, we've seen Devin Burrell have some really, really good games. We've seen some teams able to kind of evade him and evade giving him the ball. What do you think about that? Do you think that the Panthers are too reliant on him scoring on special teams to make them have some kind of pop?
I feel like, yes, they are relying on him too much on special teams. It is tough as a returner to make those plays constantly week after week, and you're playing defense as well. So it is tough. And I think they need to, like you said, do more on offense, try to get the ball going, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, some people are comparing it to the Lions game as well. So maybe potentially, I guess, an upset maybe for the Enthroners on the cards. But for the Enthroners, I mean, they need to get some run game going, I think, to support Brock Duman. But they also need to get him back in the groove. So I think it's kind of a difficult situation of, do you try and play to your strengths, which is the pass game? You've got John Cole, who's a good receiver, had a great game against Berlin. This is kind of, I think you put it as any given Sunday, like anything can happen. We've just seen Marcus saying about having a Lions moment.
Yep.
Do you think it's potential we see an Enthroners upset?
I think It is a potential, man. Any given Sunday, man. If you go out there and ball, you play your game, you come out fast, and you keep playing for 4 quarters, you will win the game. And if you do everything fundamentally sound, you will win the game.
Yeah, well, who's going to win this one?
Ooh, but I'd have to take the Panthers on this one, man.
I think so too. I'm agree with you. Like the Panthers have like such a good run game at the moment. Passing game is kind of showing a bit of a few hints here and there, but that run game is something special. That being said, there we go. So the RT Blues saying like this is kind of a trap game. I feel for the Panthers. You see those they kind of maybe becoming a bit overconfident, and maybe they get an upset. Speaking of which, we also have the Mercenaries versus the Storm. Very two different sides of the spectrum. 0-5 versus 5-0. Talk about a trap game. This could be the biggest of them all. Maybe a potential for a massive upset here. But the Mercs, they've kind of been weird, right? Like such a weird team. And that key to success for them is just try and stop the deep ball, because we know that's what Jadrian's about, like how good he is at opening up a team's defense. But also it's just be creative. Like you have Norwood, Gunnar quarterback, who is a natural receiver. You have Keelan Cole, who is a NFL level receiver. Spiller is a very quick option as well. I think you kind of got to keep everyone involved. You cannot have like attempting to pass the ball as much to Keelan Cole. I think you got to try and have him in some wildcat like Prague do with Woody P, or some jet sweeps or something, just to try and keep creativity. What do you think? Because this is a team essentially without quarterback. Because I love Norwood, but he is a receiver by trade.
Yeah, for sure. He's a receiver playing quarterback. Like I said, open up the playbook. You got to do something fancy. Show something that you've never seen before. Hey, motion him out, motion him there. You never know. There's endless opportunities. Plus, you have nothing to lose. Try everything to win this game, and you might be successful if you just try it.
Very true. You never know until you try. And answers always no until you ask. But with the Storm, it's kind of it's more of there are many more ways they can win in this game, especially like they have such a established play style. They've got veterans all over. You've got Patella Moreno, who just won the MVP of the week.
Yep.
You've got Brandon Bolio, who's one of the best receivers we've seen in the ELF. You got a former MVP of quarterback. You got a great offensive line. Like there's just so many ways they can win it. Is there much of a weakness in this team, Jarvis? Do you think?
I don't think there is any weakness in this team at all. The Storm is a complete team. I feel like from the coaches to the management, everything is ran completely good, and I feel like there's no weakness with the Storm at all.
Yeah, they're just such a solid built team from top to bottom. They really are. Who have you got for this one?
I have to take the Storm with this one, man.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that one too. As hot take as it may be, but for me, it's a clear one. They're such a complete team. It's really, really hard. There you go. So Cedric Rogers saying they're going to win big. A couple people, Aiden as well, saying they're going to win big. Next one now. Another one that could potentially be a bit of maybe a bit of an upset is the Ryan Fire versus Berlin Thunder. I don't know how many times I can keep saying about the Berlin Thunder running the ball, but I mean, they are currently not last, actually, effectively in rushing, which is actually a massive surprise to me. I'm not going to lie. They're not a very good run team. We've seen Ryan Fire actually establish a run game last game with the arrival of Fred Armstrong, who is well known for having a very good run offense. I think this is going to be maybe a potential, like, I guess, relighting of the Ryan Fire into that playoff position. They go back up to 4-2 if they get a win here. So that could see them try and take some kind of divisional dominance. They need to get more passing game in now. I think that's my key to success for the moment is like Chad Jeffries has had moments, but not consistency, which is not something we're used to seeing with him. Obviously, such a great quarterback, but there's just been no hints, but just not enough. What do you think of the Ryan Fire team so far? We've had a good sample size to see them. We've had a back and forth. This was not seen as the same level of team as over the last 2 years, but what's your thoughts on this one?
I mean, I feel like they have to use the momentum from last week to keep the ball going, keep the fire lit, as you would say. Just keep their foot on the gas. If they do everything they need to do, they will be fine and they will win this game if they do the keys to success that you have for them.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, even Marcus saying it looks a little bit closer on paper as well, which is kind of interesting. Yeah. I think there we go. The agency of sin giving the Ryan momentum, like you just said.
Yep.
For me, though, the Berlin, it's just so obvious, isn't it? It's two things, actually. It's run the ball. Like, I don't want to keep saying it, but it's so obvious. They have negative rushing yards for the running backs last week. And then it stopped turnovers. I mean, Sullivan is averaging very close to 2 turnovers a game. No, 2 interceptions a game, not counting for fumbles. And it's been a killer. We know they don't run the ball, so they need to have more sustained drives for not throwing picks, not fumbling the ball. I think that's taken a lot of points off the board for them. In my opinion, they kind of not scraped a win against the Endroners, but they looked very, very vulnerable. You can't make those same mistakes against Ryan Fire, or they could seriously, seriously punish you.
Yep.
Do they ever have a 100-yard rushing game this season, Jarvis?
This season,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Maybe not. Like I said, any given Sunday, it could happen. You never know. Hopefully, it does. It will be great for the running backs to get some love. So hopefully, they'll have a 100-yard rushing game this season. But I feel like if they play their game, they play 4 complete quarters and use the crowd as a 12th man, maybe you can potentially steal this game, shock the world with this one, and take out the Fire, man.
It would be a shock. Like, you saying about matchups, I think for me, you look at Haaland, and I think he is a seriously dangerous matchup. I do not think that Berlin have anyone that could cover him. So I think for me, that's the key matchup in terms of Ryan taking this one over. But we'll see. Who have you got for this one?
Even though I ranked them 7th in my power rankings, and everyone's mad at me, I'm gonna choose the Ryan Fire on this one, man.
I'm gonna agree. I've got them a little higher in my power rankings. If you beat a team, you've got to be above them. So you went above Vienna. So I think I've got them a 3rd. So a little bit higher than your one, but I'm also going to go for Ryan Fire. I think they should take this one. But this next game, Jarvis, I am very excited about this one because this could send the Prague hype into a new stratosphere that we have not seen since like the 2022 Dragons. Now, I don't want to be too, obviously some people say about bias. Of course, I helped with the team and I'm really, really proud of what they've done. This has been a great season, but this could be a serious test, right? This kind of comes at the perfect time. The Lions 3-2, the Galaxy coming off a couple losses, now 3-3. Galaxy have a great Russian team. Prague have a great defense, but they haven't really played anyone elite. So there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of storylines you could really go with this one, Jarvis. But what are your thoughts on just this matchup as a whole?
I think this matchup is great. It's one for the books. I might jump on the Prague train on this one, man. I like the way Prague did their thing. I was actually at the game when they played the Sea Devils, and just to see them boys live, they did their thing. So this game is going to be one for the books. I can't wait to watch it, man.
Yeah, for the Lions, I think they need to make McKay go through the flats. We've seen McKay throw a lot of interceptions when he tries to target the left and right flats. And I think with Juju and with Ken, that's a seriously ball-hawking core. We saw Latoro get 2 interceptions last week as well. So, like, this defense can create turnovers, and I think ultimately that could be an interesting place to watch during the field. For the Galaxy, though, it's being aware of Willie P. I think that's the very obvious part, right? He's been such an amazing player this year, potentially an all-star, definitely, in my opinion, an all-star. And they need to, I think, force Prague to go deep. We've seen Prague struggle to try and throw the deep ball because Javarian's just not as accurate when it comes to those deep balls as he is with some of his more intermediate work. That's the big thing, though. This is an away game. I think some people mentioned that. Marcus as well. Travel's a big one. Cedric and Frankfurt are going to pull it out. I think this is going to be a really close game. What do you think?
I want to say it's going to be close, but I want to see a blowout because I want to see points, man. That's what I want to see. I want to see points. And just like you said, for the Galaxy, the home field is your advantage, man. Use that as your advantage to keep the ball going. But like I said, I want to see points, and I think the Prague Lions are going to put up the most points, and they will win this game.
See, there you go. See, the thing that actually Galaxy and me does, we started our little back and forth beef over FIBO when I said that they're going to lose at this point to the Prague Lions.
Yep.
I'm not walking back on that statement. They're going to lose to the Prague Lions in this game, and I think it's going to be a turning point. Prague Lions maybe potentially going 4-2. But our team made a good statement there in the comment section. Special teams, I think, could win this one. I think the Prague have a better special team unit, firstly. So I think that's going to be a big one. And it's also going to come to how Hamburg, if they do, Frankfurt, if they do create turnovers, are they going to capitalize? Because against Paris, they did not capitalize on turnovers at all. So we'll see how they go. I think this is going to be a really exciting one. Both of us have gone to the Frog, which is, I didn't expect you to go for Frog. I thought you were going to go for the Galaxy.
Hey man, I seen the Lions live in action last week, and I was thoroughly impressed, man.
They're a great team. Yeah. They're a great team. The vibes of the Vikings is just unmatched this year. It's phenomenal. Another big game. This game had this week is just full of them. Vikings versus Raiders. Another Austrian derby this weekend, which is just an absolute treat. Vikings and the Raiders, of course, both positive. Currently both looking for those playoff spots. Vikings have that surprise loss last week. This is the first time they've lost in a regular season since week 1. Maxi, our producers, went derby with it has been a dominant period for the Vikings. They are currently undefeated against the Raiders in ELF play. Do you think this is maybe a chance? It is in the Raiders Stadium in Tyrrell, so it's a great environment. You've played in it, so you'll know a lot better than me. Do you think this could be the place, the time? Maybe it's all aligning. Is it coming together? Jarvis, McClam.
Hey man, all I have to say is this is a tough one because year after year the Vikings have been beating them, and this could be the game that the Raiders finally pull it off. You're back at home, you got the fans, they're going to be there. It's going to be loud, but at the same time, it is the Vikings. But just play the keys to your game. Do what you have to do. Do anything that you can. Use their loss to fuel the team. They lost last week. So, hey, they lost last week. They're down. They're going to try to come out fast, but we have to stay on top and do what we have to do and play our game.
Yeah, I think that they are beatable at the end is a great point because we've seen them lose. Previous this in a regular season, always no one's ever beat them except when it gets to the final. And that's the Ryan Fire is a very different team to the Raiders. And now we've seen with the Ryan Fire team that was not considered elite and it has a worse record than the Raiders. They ended up beating the Vikings. That could be a big one. The Vikings' keys to success when it comes to this game, though, is definitely third down. I think they were all. I'm not sure if I'm remembering correctly, but weren't they 0-11 on third down and against Ryan, or they did not have a good third down unit?
They didn't have a good one at all. Yeah.
There we go. So they need to improve that, and I think the way to do that is to get to Florian Birabama. He is just a special tight end, kind of generational tight end for the Vienna Vikings, 5-star kind of player. So he is going to be the way they get this. Who do you think is taking it in the derby, as Maxi puts up?
Hey man, like they say, once a Raider, always a Raider. But I'm taking Vienna Vikings on this one.
So you go. I think some people might renounce your Raiders.
They can't take it away. They can't take it away. I'm forever written in Raiders history.
You are, to be fair. The Raiders have stopped the Vikings have stopped the Raiders' run. That's what a lot of people are saying in the comment section as well, which is very true. Having said that, I'm going to agree with you. I think the Vikings take this one, extend their winning streak. Raiders are onto a criminally hard schedule. I think they have the hardest schedule in the whole league. They got to play Ryan a couple times. It's going to be really fun. And this one's just kind of the start of their very, very hard schedule. I'm going to take the Vikings on that one. Our next game, Musketeers versus the Cologne Centurions. Another place you can actually donate with our earlier people at DKMS, so that should be a good opportunity there as well for the fans. This one is we don't need to spend too much time on that. I don't want to bash Cologne as well. Of course, players are turning up, they're playing the game, they're doing what they love as well, and they're putting on the league for us. Could not do it without the players in Cologne, so good for them. Paris-wise, an opportunity for them, I think, in terms of their keys to just try and find out what works a little bit better. Their offense has been kind of back and forth. They've had a ridiculously hard schedule to start the year. I think this is a chance to maybe try out some stuff, see what works, see what doesn't, and take it into the latter half of the year. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, do not sleep on your opponent because this could be another trap game. We're playing Cologne, but hey, Cologne still has players. They still have ballers. They still have guys that want to be there and want to put on for the city. So I feel like if they play their game, they could possibly get it done. But Paris, do not fall into the trap.
Yeah, exactly. For Cologne, it's just kind of keeping focused, kind of playing for next season, building on the building blocks. See if you have some players that could maybe come back for next year, make it into a real turnaround. Because we've seen teams turn around 0-12. Surge turned around 0-12. Prague turned around 1-11 for the last 2 seasons. So it's definitely not out of question. We could see a more invigorated Cologne, and maybe we'll see a hint of that one. But I'm going to go for Musketeers. Who are you going to go for?
Yeah, Same, Musketeers.
Here we go. Yeah. So last game though, this one is back to the barn burners. I think is how I'm going to explain this one. The Surge 4-1, Ravens also 4-1. Look at the numbers on that. Both of these are elite teams. Great rushing defense for the Ravens, an outstanding just point scoring machine of the Surge. This should just be another great matchup. It was already a great matchup the first time they played. Obviously, the Surge got the one possession win. I think it was 36-28. Great game. This one is now in a return leg back to Munich. What do you think is the tail of the take with this one? What do you see?
Man, it's going to be a tough one, man. Both of these teams are ready. Just like you said, Surge got the first one with the Ravens. They're coming with fire. Like Coach Kendall, they're going to do whatever they can to try to get this win. But the Surge, they are the Surge. They know how to win. They know how to stay composed through the whole game and play their game. So we're going to see with this one, man.
Yeah, the difficult part for me is when a team plays someone like Cologne or the Enthroners or the Mercs, a team that's maybe seen as not the greatest. They take out some of their starters and then they get in some bench players. For me, I'm always a bit like, are they going to be fully locked in for this next game? You know, Riley has had a good year. He's just not really been very active. They haven't needed him to be honest. So is he going to come in maybe a little bit cooler against Munich? Munich more battle tested, but have kind of come through with really good wins against like the Raiders. That's always the thing for me. Do you think ring rust is? You're obviously a former player. You've had injuries. You've come back from injuries. Some people don't believe in ring rust. The kind of idea that you come in rusty, to borrow a term from boxing and MMA. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I feel like it takes time to get going. I'm saying you've been out for a while. You play a team that you've been chilling on the sideline for a little bit. It does take a while to get going, but this week you can't. This game right here, you can't. You have to be on it now. You have to start when the game starts. You have to be ready mentally as soon as the game starts. So there's no taking this time off at all.
Yeah, I agree. And I think for Munich, they need to be super aggressive on the box. I don't know obviously the terms of them, but Tomoe Yewo is a Surge player now, former Munich Raven. They have a great Russian defense. I don't think they can allow him to have like some massive game. That would kind of maybe bruise a few egos in Munich if he's able to like really make a push for a MVP of the week, perhaps. So they're going to have to make sure that he doesn't do that. And that's going to give us maybe some more talking points, maybe send him on a bit of a spiral. Who knows? Football's a crazy game. So this one is really, really tough. I think that this is a kind of a pick 'em. I was very between. I know people in the chat are too. I was very between who to go for. I went for Munich the first time and they let me down. They talk all this about being a team. You never pick us, never pick up. I pick them and they lose. This time I'm going with the Surge because I think that they're just so damn good. This is definitely a team that's going to be, I believe if it's on the ELF website this morning, that they are now like the official bookmakers' favorite team. So I think that could be quite telling coming into this one.
And I think I'm going to pick the Surge with this one as well. Just like you said, they are a complete team. They know how to get things done. I think they will this weekend.
Absolutely. Now we come into very important when it comes to playoff seeding. And speaking of the playoff seeding, you can look at that on the ELF website as well. It explains all of the current situation. There's a lot of different tiebreakers. People are talking about it a lot because we're kind of getting into that space now where it does matter a lot. We get that great piece of there we go. So if you see all of that, that's on the ELF website. Go do my favorite three or the main three. Number of wins, of course, makes sense. Win percentage within division, of course, makes sense in head-to-head matchups. I really would just love to see Patrick Azume just do a coin toss. That's number 11 currently in the, so it's very low down, but like this is going to be big, right, for the playoffs. Yeah. Just very informative. It's very helpful for people to see, but gosh, wouldn't that be a moment, wouldn't it?
That would be crazy to have everybody come together to have an official stream, a live stream. Everyone watch the coin toss. It's just Patrick Azume just
and then the whole crowd goes crazy.
It would be like a 5-minute stream, right? That's it.
But then speaking of playoffs, here we have the current playoff picture, if you don't mind putting that one up, of just currently who is in the position for the playoffs. Me and Nick talked about this just a couple of days ago. Some very interesting matchups, but most importantly to note, not that many German teams currently in this. A lot of people talk about the German dominance that ELF over the last couple of years, but currently only Munich and Stuttgart. No Run Fire. There's also no Madrid, quite notably in this one. Like, this is a fine collection of games. if the season was to end today, Jarvis, which playoff game would you be most excited to see?
Oh, the season would end today. I'll probably say definitely Ravens, Raiders, because I actually played in this matchup a couple of times and seemed like the Raiders always got the upper hand on them. But I think this will be a definitely good game for me to watch. So, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I'm gonna go for Surge Paris. I think that game would be really fun. But also, just as a quick into thing, the purpose of determining the tiebreak, number 8 of the total point difference. I'm gonna read it out verbatim. The purpose of the determining tiebreaker, and irrespective of the actual score of an ELF game, a maximum point difference of 35 points per ELF game shall be taken into account.
Okay.
Now that is all very statistical stuff that me, as a very statistical man, gets a little bit confused by. But overall, you can just give it a read and it should be able to familiar. I think there's also examples and stuff like that, and all the formulas and mathematics that goes into it. If you're interested in that side of the playoff seeding, it should be rather easy to follow. So that's the playoff seeding. I think there's some fun matchups potentially, some fun situations, and maybe we'll get a coin toss one of these days. We really fun. Now moving into the Euronics and Dyson question of the week. Just to round it out, you have a good one this week, Jarvis. I kind of like this one. That's from someone who's in the chat right now. It's Ada Stefanson. Which team could benefit from a rebrand? I'm going to let you take this one just for a second while I kind of figure out my choice. I got a couple of people that I think it could be.
A team that could benefit from a rebrand. Let's see. I'm going to say the Cologne Centurions. You know, for the people that don't know, I've spent some time in the Cologne area, the NRW. Like, I love that area. That was my first time being out in Europe. I was out there for 3 years, but I feel like Cologne definitely needs a rebrand. I think it will be fine for them to have a rebrand because most of the guys will come back. You know what I'm saying? You have people playing in different countries that are from Cologne, playing in different cities that are from Cologne. Maybe you do a big rebrand, you bring everybody back, and people will want to play for their home city. So I feel like Cologne will be the best team to have the rebrand.
That would be fun. I'd like to see that. I think another team I'm looking at can you go for the Mercs? I know they kind of just had a rebrand. So it's kind of tough, but logo-wise, I'm not a massive fan personally. And I think maybe a rebrand that kind of, we've seen how good the Swiss Tan is. Maybe one that brings the Swiss Tan together would make them a more competitive team. People sending in Throners. Again, logo for me, it's all right. It's okay. I kind of, I like the jerseys. If there was a new jersey, though, I think that's kind of a tough one.
Yeah.
I might go for someone like, I might go for Hamburg. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the jerseys are fine, but I don't think they're like crazy. I would like to see maybe a light blue, kind of sea blue variant from them. But what do you
Now,
think?
if they bring back the OG jerseys, the Hamburg Cinema jerseys with the old school logo, the light blue and ooh, hey man, I might be back in pads. I don't know.
Also, like, every team has an army variant at the moment. Berlin's had an army variant. I know obviously respect to troops, of course. I know we have some people in the chat that serve in the military, but like, I don't think every team needs the same jersey and the same kind of style. I'd like to see a few fun variants. I think a throwback Hamburg one.
Yeah, that would be nice, man.
That'd be kind of nice. If you pick a team which had a new jersey, if you could add a new variant or maybe a new special edition to any team, what would it be other than the Hamburg one?
You said New Jersey for a team, huh?
Yeah. Or like you could have like a variant of like, I mean, Maxi just put firefighters. I guess now it'd be Ryan. You put Ryan some like firefighter stuff. That'd be kind of sick. I think that'd be cool.
Okay. Put him on the spot there, man. I'm trying to go through my Rolodex of teams here. And
I'm thinking maybe Madrid too. Nice, like a little bit of a Spanish vibe to one of the kids. I mean, kind of nice, I think that'd be dope. There's some definite great cultures around the league. I think we could throw in some spice, a little bit of something into it.
Yeah.
It's a tough one now, but yeah, it's a great question. I'll give you some chance to think about it. I might come back to you on that one, but concluding the show with our fantasy football, of course, this is presented by Citizen Watches, and of course, you can win a Citizen Watch every single week if you just top the league tables for that week. You get Citizen Watch like that, and then, of course, there are additional prizes at the end of the year with shop vouchers and special watches if you win the whole season. There's a lot to win. Literally, you can start today and you can win a watch this weekend. So it's definitely a reason to do it. It takes 2 minutes. Literally, we'll not take you very long at all, and the risk to reward is very high, so you'll be fine. This is a big one though for me now. I'm still 12th. I'm stuck at 12. So people in my inner circle are going up above. They're winning a week. Shout out to Danny who just won a week. I'm still at 12th. What do you reckon now? Who's your pick for this week? Talk to me about your team.
Okay, as you can see, my team up here, I have Jadrian Clark at QB, Serge Kendalls and Chris McKay at running backs, Austin Mitchell at receiver, Harlan Kofi also at receiver, Bolatella at tight end, and Birabama as flex, because like you said, he is a big body, and I feel like he's going to get the ball a lot. And Eric Schlom as kicker, and my Vienna Vikings at defense. But also, do not copy my team, because as currently I am 376 ranked, so I do not know what I'm talking about with fantasy football. So that's all I have to say.
I've never seen someone put a tight end at flex before. I won't lie. Like, I know Nick doesn't even put a tight end in because he spent all of his money on just his receivers. So I've never seen that. But like Audrey, got 4 touchdowns last week, so it's definitely worth it. Okay. My one is not too dissimilar. I've made a few changes that will come up with my one. I got Jadrian, I got David. I've gone for Johan Schutz. I think he's going to have a good one against the Raiders. Obviously, Cruikshank. Got to kind of go for him at the moment. Same with Bolio. Same with Botella Moreno. I've been traded a little bit. So I've got a lot of capital when it comes to getting the players I want. So I think I'm going to take the one risk I've taken is the Surge defense. Maybe I'll change it out. Maybe I'll get cold feet. But maybe they'll get a few picks, turn up. Then again, I'm thinking, actually, maybe I made a mistake on going for the Surge defense. Maybe I'll change that out.
Don't change it out now. You showed the fans already. You can't show them one thing and switch it, man. You can't do that.
Well, I'm 12th. Like, should people listen to me really? If I'm not even in the top 10, maybe ELFpedia maybe gives better advice. Because
hey, you're doing better than me, so you can do whatever you want. So whatever you're doing is working.
Europe's doing better than your ones, man. You had some of the weeks you've had have been crazy.
Hey, this is my first time playing fantasy, you guys. So hey, I'm learning. I'm trying.
Yeah, he needs to see no Lions on either week for me, which is the first time I had Willie P in a while, but this is such a competitive game against Galaxy. I think that's going to be a tough one. But that being said, thank you everyone in the chat. Thank you to DKMS. Of course, go sign up for that one. Make sure to do that. Links is good in the description, the website for the page. You could look at the playoffs also in the description. Thank you very much, Jarvis, for being my host. Any final thoughts?
I'm ready for this weekend, man. I'm excited. I can't wait to see the games this weekend, man. So let's go.
There we go. Can we flash up the games real quick, maybe? We got time to flash up some of the games. Just a final look at some of them. There we go. Just a final quick look at what we've got coming. Just very, very soon. Just mere hours away. Of course, I'll give it the Prague Galaxy game. Jarvis, I've left it a bit late, but which one are you looking at?
Obviously, Prague Galaxy. And then Vienna Raiders. I have to look at that one since I'm a Raider forever. Yeah. And then obviously Stuttgart, Munich. Obviously, that's going to be the break in the division or whatever. So see who's going to come out on top. So we'll see.
There we go. Big week. Make sure to tune in on the zone for that one as well. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. See you next time. Thank you again, and goodbye.